It's time to hear from our speaker for the day. Really pleased, as I say, to be joined by Victor from the Early team, who's going to be talking about sensor technologies and monitoring for change. Victor, feel free to take it away. I can keep driving the slides, so if you just tell me when you want me to change,
Sure.
that's fine.
Thanks a lot, Maddie, and good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Wiktor Warchałowski. I'm the CEO of Early, a leading provider of cost-effective hyperlocal air quality monitoring solutions. We are really proud to be a part of the Brief London program, and today I'm excited to discuss how data-driven insights can empower local authorities like yourselves to tackle air pollution effectively. Today, I will be focusing on how progress in sensor technology is revolutionizing air quality monitoring, enabling what I call monitoring for change. At Early, we believe that granular, hyperlocal, real-time data is crucial for understanding air pollution and implementing targeted interventions. Moving to the next slide, please. So, Early was founded in 2016 to turn data into clean air. Today, our solutions are used in over 50 countries across the globe, and we have over 7,000 sensors in places like Jakarta, Lagos, Brazil, Mongolia, most European countries, and many, many more. Our sensors are engineered to provide reliable and accurate data. They are capable of measuring key pollutants, including PM2.5, PM10, NO2, and ozone, with data readings every 1 minute. On the Brief London website, you will see hourly average data in air quality indexes based on NO2 and PM2.5. Our sensors benefit from GSM connectivity for seamless data transfer. They are waterproof and long-lasting and offer multiple power supply options for flexible deployment. Technology we use has been tested and validated by many organizations such as South Coast ATMD, Ricardo, Polish General Inspectorate of Environmental Protection, and we are trusted by numerous partners, including NHS, Lambeth, JCDecaux, Southwark Council, Birmingham City Council, and obviously GLA. Furthermore, our sensors have received the Best Sensor 2023 award by Air Paris, and we are obviously MCERT certified for PM2.5 and PM10. Right now, I would like to move and to start with a quick overview of the history of air quality monitoring techniques. Thanks, Maddie. Looking at the evolution of air quality monitoring, we have moved from less frequent, centralized wet chemistry methods to instrumental techniques. Now, sensor technology represents the cutting edge, offering a dramatic increase in the scale and resolution of data. This approach enables thousands of data points to be collected with few-second averages, providing a much more detailed and dynamic picture of air quality compared to the limited coverage of traditional methods. And you can see here that with like a much better resolution, the scale is also increasing. Sensor technologies like Early's network, if we can move to the next slide, please. And sensor technologies offer significant advantages as an emerging technology. We achieve improved spatial resolution with hundreds of sensors per city compared to just a few reference stations. And this allows for hyperlocal insights. And that's also the idea behind the Brief London program. We also provide improved temporal resolution with real-time data capturing fluctuations in pollution levels as they happen. And probably Professor Rod Jones and his team from the University of Cambridge will lead one of the working groups in the future. They will be able to dive deeper into differentiating local and regional pollution sources and signals. And the last but not least, our compact sensors can be deployed in places not feasible for conventional monitoring, such as schools, hospitals, care homes, and others. If we can move right now to the next slide, I would like to talk a little bit more about the best practices and certifications, which are very important for an emerging technology like sensor technologies. At Early, we are committed to following best practices and achieving relevant certifications. In my opinion, the UK took the most pragmatic approach. Contracted by DEFRA, BSI issued a best practice-based standard, which is called PAS 4023, which aims at encouraging the use of an application of sensor technology. It also provides a clear guidance as to its capabilities, but also to limitations. And one of the requirements for this project, for Brief London project, was to install our sensors in London according to PAS 4023. MCerts is another thing related to best practices and certification, and it's probably the first certification scheme worldwide for small sensors, which we of course follow for both PM2.5 and PM10. We would love to see similar certification scheme for NO2 and ozone and other gas pollutants, but for now it's only available for PM2.5 and PM10, and that was also one of the requirements for the Brief London project. In the US, the approach is a little different, with an emphasis on lab and field testing and open publication of the results, allowing users, local authorities, community groups to determine their own levels of acceptability for use. And lastly, in the European Union, Working Group 42 is working to publish standards under the CEN banner that will serve as both guidance for use of sensor systems and also provide the basis for certification. And we, as representatives of small sensor technology companies, we were asking, for such certification and for such scheme for a long time. This certification will rely on proving their performance against existing reference methods, which themselves are not perfect. And also the testing regime will take circa 12 months to complete, and still it's not clear when and where it can be implemented. So we still don't know when we can achieve such certification. Moving to the next slide, and this is based on the technical specification from the Working Group 42, there are air quality objectives for air quality monitoring. As you can see, for different pollutants, there are different type of monitoring stations. And for reference measurements, we are having 25% maximum relative expanded uncertainty for PMs and 15% maximum uncertainty for gas pollutants. So each reference equipment which is accepted and it's described as a fixed measurement, it needs to meet these levels of uncertainty. For indicative measurements for class 1, there is 50% for PMs, 25% for NO2, and 30% for ozone. As a requirement for the Brief London project, we had class 1 for PM2.5 and NO2. Although together with CRC, the University of Cambridge, and our consortium, our ambition is to prove that with small sensors, we can reach even better results than this. Moving to the next slide, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the monitoring for change. In the last 10 years of our work in air quality, very often we saw monitoring for compliance approach. A lot of businesses and countries and local communities were doing monitoring to meet some regulatory requirements. And we believe air pollution is a global health crisis that requires urgent action. And London's action, including Brief London project, demonstrate true leadership in this effort. The detailed data provided by EARLY enables a wide range of qualitative and quantitative applications for what I call monitoring for change. Our mission is to turn data into clean air, as I said at the beginning. It's not about turning data into another report that no one will read. Using data from small sensors, you can identify city pollution hotspots, you can compare air quality across different locations, you can detect pollution peaks by time of day and identify pollution events from various sources like transport and industry. On the other hand, our data allows for tracking changes in pollutant concentrations over time and measuring the efficacy of interventions and policies such as low emission zones and school streets. And moving to the next slide, I wanted to show our experience working with cities across Europe, which demonstrates the power of using air quality monitoring to drive real change. And you can see some of these examples here. We were using data from small sensors to help the city of Warsaw to introduce school streets to reduce idling in sensitive areas. A lot of construction sites in London are using our sensors to notify in real time about air pollution exceedances, to take some actions and avoid exposure or tackle outbreaks. In Krakow, and that's a example which is really close to my heart, because I was born and I'm based in Krakow, but a few years ago the city of Krakow decided to introduce a ban on burning solid fuels, and air quality in Krakow improved by over 40% over the last few years when it comes to particulate matter and benzoylpropyren. And last but not least, it's also behavior change. So we are working with the city of Birmingham, and they are providing real-time notifications about air pollution exceedances to schools, to head teachers, and so children and teachers can take relevant actions or reduce exposure to polluted air. And to summarize, we believe that Brief London will empower local governments and local communities to make data-driven decisions, to implement effective policies, and ultimately improve public health. We believe that by embracing advanced sensor technologies, we can move beyond simply measuring air pollution to actively monitoring for change and creating cleaner and healthier cities and places like London. Thank you a lot for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions, whether it's now or afterwards, or you can always reach out to me via email.